Dude, this guy's kind of a clown, bro. Carville? Dude, he's so old, bro. I mean, dude, I get it. He's an old name. He's got some wisdom and shit. But like every time I see this guy is on the wrong side of like 90% of the shit. Because he just doesn't understand how the modern world works.
About Bernie and AOC. But Bernie's run for president twice. He's lost twice. AOC and her kind and this guy, David Hogg, they want to run against other Democrats.
Yeah.
They don't run against Republicans. Well,
this guy, David Hogg.
when you beat a Republican, come back and see me and I will be impressed. But if you're spending all your time, and I think that's the real problem. And
that ain't the real problem, James Carville. The point is we want to get motherfuckers like you out of the government, bro. People that are still stuck in the 90s there, wearing a fucking, like, what's up with that hat, bro? Like, where's that hat been, dude? You've been sitting on that shit when you go fishing for, like, the last 20 years? Like, goddamn, bro. Jesus Christ, look at that hat, bro. You done got a flat head under that motherfucking thing. Carville! Goddamn, bro. Dude, that hat is like like his Confederate buddy in 1870s was wearing that goddamn hat, bro. Dude, look at him. Dude, looks like they pulled him out of a tent on fucking Skid Row, bro. And he's sitting here talking about David Hogg. Like, bro, we need to get you people out of the government, Carville. These old sad sacks wearing a hat from a different fucking generation, bro, when everyone was using goddamn rotary phones. Fucking idiot.
I mean, it's fine. They draw big crowds. They draw everything. That's great. But all they want to do, and all this guy Hogg wants to do, is they want to beat, like Democrats are not the problem right now.
Yeah, some Democrats are the problem. Imagine what Joe Biden's administration would have been like if there had been no Kyrsten Sinema and no Joe Manchin, James Carville. We would have had Build Back Better, you fucking dumb fuck. How many critical pieces of legislation did Joe Manchin tank? Like, what are you talking about? It is a problem. The lack of progressive Democrats, the group of people that have been sitting in Congress just trading stocks for 25 fucking years, okay? And they're willing to just keep the country treading water so they can jack up on all their stock trades. Like, goddamn, bro, we need to replace probably 50% of the incumbent Democrats with younger people, okay? People that are ready to fight the modern fight and not people that are just going to let the fucking government tread water. And what's more is we need the people in government to know if they're not on board with the democratic future and the progressive future of our party, then they're going to get replaced. Your job is not safe unless you are willing to be fighting for the shit America needs, which is health care, which is fixing the goddamn wealth gap, taxing the motherfucking rich, and making sure we can get a goddamn decent education without having to sell our fucking souls to Chase Manhattan Bank. You know? Like, it ain't rocket science. And no more just letting Elon Musk piss all over us and then shoveling money into the trunk of his fucking Cybertruck. You know? And this old guy's like, hey, beat the Republican. It's like, shut the fuck up, Carville. Dude, yeah, Carville, I'm about ready to fucking roll up on his house and fucking deliver his dumb ass to the nearest nursing home.
Democratic strategist James Carville has some strong thoughts on Bernie Sanders, AOC, and their Fight Oligarch tour. We have more from Carville where that came from, Cenk.
Now, wait, Cenk Uygur should be ripping Carville to shreds, right? Because Cenk Uygur hates the establishment, right? All right, this is your moment, Cenky. Come here, Cenky. This is your moment. Oh, you get to burn the establishment down. Don't let us down.
But what's your take on that first clip? One fired up guy, as you know, Carville tends to be, or is this about, hey, we got to do something here with this momentum overall, the elite?
Yeah. So I don't think
that Carville gets to talk too much after his candidates, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, etc., have gotten their asses handed to them by Donald Trump. So, brother, come back after you beat Donald Trump, and then let's have a conversation. Bernie Sanders had a 12-point lead against Donald Trump on Election Day in 2016.
Dude, this is so fucking funny because two things. First off, there is one guy who beat Donald Trump, Cenk, and it was Joe Biden. Ha! You fucking stupid ass. The guy you're obsessed with and you can't give credit for. Joe Biden beat Donald Trump. And secondly, Cenk, quit fucking quoting Bernie Sanders having a 12-point lead because Bernie Sanders wasn't running against Trump. So he didn't get campaigned against. So quit acting like the guy who didn't get campaigned against was somehow like gonna be victorious. Because if Bernie Sanders had gone through the muck of getting hammered in the campaign, you don't know that those numbers would have been the same, okay? It's very different when you're not the nominee. The person who hasn't been getting shredded in the press and the media and on the stages and all that shit. But dude, he's still like, Bernie had a lead. The guy who wasn't in a campaign against Trump had a lead. Yeah, that's real good, Cenk.
So the reality is these corporate Democrats are the ones that are preventing us from beating Republicans. And that's why the Democratic Party is polling at 26% now. So no,
no, that's not. They're polling at 26% because we want fighters, but
Carville is dead wrong about this. I'll let him talk some more smack and then I'll come talk smack against him.
I don't know, dude. I mean, at least he didn't defend Carville, but I gotta say though, Cenk doesn't get nearly as passionate. Like he didn't really defend David Hogg. He just sort of like said Carville's full of shit and was mad at Carville because of Hillary. And then he talked about like beating Donald Trump, but he forgot to mention Joe Biden. He talked about this, like, you know, this Bernie lead, even though Bernie never campaigned, right? Like, dude, what is he doing, bro?
I have no problem with more parties. I think that coalitions will probably be a more effective structure than what we have right now because you have a binary battle to the bottom. Which side is worse? That's what these parties spend all their time on.
Well, maybe, as I said, maybe they need to split off from the Democratic Party and call themselves the socialist, I don't know, urbanist, central city.
Oh, the socialist urbanists. Hey, how about if we take the Democratic Party, Carville, and you guys leave and become the fucking geriatric fucking bathtub fucking party? How about that? The fucking geriatric fucking dressing like it's 1952 party, right?
Or maybe just take it over. Who knows?
Dude.
Carville isn't the only member of the Democratic establishment that's not too happy with Bernie and AOC. Andrew Cuomo, who is running to be
Andrew Cuomo. The sex pest from New York is really upset with Bernie and AOC. I don't know if you saw it though, guys. Did you see? Basically what happened was now that AOC, there's been some noise about her maybe running for president. They've already started the smear campaigns. Fox News was running a story today about city officials in Queens in AOC's district that are super concerned about gang violence. They're already starting up the whole like gang violence is getting out of control in AOC's district. Dude, it was today, man. Leaders in AOC's red light district call on 𝗙cie𝗶𝗄𝗪 to crush worsening gang crime like clockwork. The minute there is some inkling that she might run for president, they're like, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗄𝗪, get in here.
Whether Carville and Cuomo like it or not, AOC may just as well be the future of the Democratic Party. And so let's look at the polls to tell us more. CNN poll recently found this. When asked which Democrat best reflects the core values of the party, 10% of Democratic voters named her. Just ahead of Harris at 9%, Sanders at 8%. A Yale University poll released this week found that among Democrats, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗪 boasts the single highest net favorability rating of all the party's many potential 2028 presidential candidates.
62%.
A sky-high 62%.
That's insane. Dude, I'm telling you, if it was AOC versus Kamala Harris in the primary, I would vote for AOC. Dude, she's a brawler.
If the 2028 Democratic presidential primaries were held today, AOC finished a very strong second. Former Vice President Kamala Harris at 28% was the only prospective candidate to edge her out. Wow, and the problem with AOC and Bernie is they actually are real, okay? They believe what they believe and live accordingly.
Yeah. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. First of all, AOC is now appears to be the leader in the race. Now, there's a long way to go between now and 2028, but Kamala Harris coming in number one is unsurprising. That's just on name recognition, and because she just ran like a minute ago, right?
Dude, we know they hate Kamala Harris. Yeah, I think AOC 𝗍𝗫 would be really interesting too. There's something, to me, I think there's something to be said for Democrats who win in red states, like Andy 𝗍𝗫, governor of Kentucky. Dems that win in red states, I feel like they have a type of like gravitas with sort of middle America that is sort of a sway to the independents. Right? Because there's, that whole Democratic thing, there's like a fear with Democrats that they're too progressive, too big city. And so I think a strong presidential candidate balanced with a beloved blue person from a red state or somebody that has a very high favorability in a red state would be a really smart move. I think that would be one of the types of moves that could be really powerful and really like pluck away at that independent vote.
So that one doesn't really count, and we're not going to run a person who lost to Trump. That's just not going to happen, right? So right now, currently AOC is the leader, and she might be striking the balance better than I realized. And so look, when Carville said, "Hey, we should get away from the cultural wars and we should get away from radicalism and purity tests, etc."
See, dude, I'm tired of hearing Cenk talk about this, about getting away from culture wars. It's like, Cenk, you can't get away from the culture war when your goddamn opponents run $20 million of like, you're the party of they, them. Okay? Like, stop saying we need to avoid the culture wars. It's like, f off, Cenk. Kamala Harris was making ads about what she was going to do for the economy. Donald Trump spent $20 million going after young men who are fans of sports, trying to convince them that if she won, they were going to cut their fucking dicks off. So you can't say stay away from the culture wars, bro. Like, goddamn, dude, I'm tired of you fucking sitting there with your fucking head in Trump's ass, dude. It's like, fuck you, bro. When the other side continually bashes you over the head with a culture war, you have to fucking swing back. And if anything, the Democrats haven't been fighting the culture war. They've been sitting there pretending like it's not happening, while the Republicans are just creating entire bullshit narratives, many of which you are propagating from the goddamn progressive news channel. So, dude, quit fucking doing that shit, bro. That shit pisses me off. Is it just me? I get so mad when I see these motherfuckers saying that, because it's always the transphobic people who say that shit. Always. It is always the transphobic people who say that shit. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.